Manish, you've won the toss. What have you decided?
We're going to bowl first.
Same tactic as you went the last game they played against him. Do you think that you can, looking at anything that you want to improve on?
Oh, definitely. To start with the fast bowlers to taking up early wickets and try to get as many wickets as possible early and giving us a good base. And we're going to stick to the same thing what we did yesterday and same basics.
How have your preparations gone so far for the final?
I think we're pretty relaxed. We are good. We know what we have done in all this tournament. We have been scoring runs and taking wickets. I think we just want to continue the same performance.
Good luck for the game.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Kaya, you've lost the toss. Would you have decided any otherwise? Had you won it?
Yeah, we would have also bowled. There's a little bit of movement in the morning, but it's not a major thing.
Is that due to the game you guys played last week, where India batted first? Do you think that it offers a bit in the morning and it quickens up in the afternoon?
Yeah, it does move around a little bit in the morning. It's a bit slow, but I mean, you just have to adjust as a team. Other than that, it's pretty equal.
How have your preparations gone for the final so far?
They've been good. We've played some good cricket, in the round robins, and we're just going to come out and do the same thing this time around.
Is there anyone new coming in your team regarding the team that played against Afghanistan?
Yeah, just Klaasen comes back into the team and Mosehle out.
Good luck for the game.
Thank you very much.
And there is the story in the middle. India has won the toss and they've chosen to bowl. Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you. I don't see Klaasen, guys. Guys, I don't see Klaasen, eh? Unless it's run, don't quickly change. Morning, coach. Okay, Klaasen is coming, guys.
Okay, we're standing by, guys. Stand with your shoulders against the backdrop. Other side, to it. Stand by, guys.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Heinrich, you're in the final. How's your preparations as a team gone so far?
I think very well. I've been working hard during the whole campaign so far, so I think it's very good.
Personal preparations, you missed out in the last game, not because you were out of form, but because you were rested. But you've come back in the team now. How's your plans been going personally?
No, I think very good. Quite blessed to be here and looking forward to this final.
And you guys lost the toss and you've been put into bat. Does that change your guys' game plan a little bit since the last game that you guys played against India? They put you in and it was a close call?
Not really. I think you should play every wicket on its own merit. I think this morning we'll do a little bit, but otherwise I think that overall the whole series has been very good wickets.
And how's your tournament gone so far as a team, if you can sum it up?
I think very, very good. I think this is the first time that we've been in a final and we start stringing wins together. So I think hopefully today we will pull it through again.
Thank you very much for the interview and good luck for the game.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
No, but it's just been like. You need. I didn't know that.
I'm still waiting for my, what do you call it?
But Gail's in your team now, right?
Yeah, Gail's.
That's cool, eh?
We've got a strong team. We won 2 out of 2, so that's good.
Yeah, I saw the start was good, yeah.
We've never started well in the previous.
But didn't you play for another team to start with, or has it always been? It's always been them.
Yeah.
Okay. What's up? How you doing? Oh, how's it going? All right. Good, man. Excellent. Tomorrow morning, 5 in the morning. Oh, wow, eh? Okay. See you later. Good luck. I'm running quicker.
Hello. Are you? Is that where you want me? And is that my camera? Says so.
Scratchy in my one. It's doing a lot of that. Sorry, I must move this stuff, yeah.
Can you hear me, Sam? Can you hear me, Sam?
Hi, Brett. All good?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Who? It's better there.
Hey, Brett. How you doing, Brett?
Yeah, John, that's cool. I'm
good?
fine.
So
Who?
stand more back. Like this, huh, Brett?
Yeah, how's that? Okay.
Did I?
Hello.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you hear me, Brett?
Yeah. And where's is Whale on my camera? Okay. Hey, and there's a monitor over there. Yeah. Just bring it a bit. Can put it there even, Alfie, so we.
We don't talk to the camera anyway, so it's fine.
Oh.
Just look at him, have a
That's John's jacket.
Is that
Okay,
fine,
talk
I
me
think?
through what you're going to do. It's a hello and welcome, a chat with each.
Sorry, but thanks.
Just move it back a bit, Elfie. So they say the shadow's in the way. Okay. Oh. What do we call this ground?
Assupol, Tuks over.
Assupol Tuks Oval. Okay. How long? How long, Alfie? How long? Okay, Sam, can I talk to you? It's a hello and welcome, and introduce both guys, a chat a bit about the game. Then we go to player interviews with Doomy. Come back, we talk about the surface, so then we go to Doomy with a pitch report. Then we come back out of the pitch report and we have another little chat, and we go to the toss, and we come back and we finish up and we throw to commentary from here. John is starting commentary, so surely at that stage he's got to leave.
Just shout when I go.
Okay, cool. Okay, thank you. He's with Doomy, so Doomy's up there, yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Can I hear a count? Can I hear a count, please? Thank you. Good morning and welcome to the Assupol Tuks Oval here for the final of this tri-series. It's South Africa A versus India A. Good morning, it's an absolute peach of a day here up here in Pretoria. Pretty cool, but not unpleasantly so for this time of year. And with me, opening proceedings, Kruger van Wyk, nice to have you along with us, and John Kent. Gentlemen, this is the opportunity perhaps for South Africa A players, given the form of South Africa in their series in England. John, let's start with you.
Yeah, it has been a disappointing tour in total, from the ODIs, the T20s, the Test series as well. It's been a bit disappointing from all concerned. So there's plenty of food for thought there. And these players that are involved in this game, some have been in some of these tours as well. So they want to put up their hand. And that's really what we're looking for right now, is guys to put their hands up, step up, and be successful at international level.
Kruger, let's look at the context of this tri-series as a whole. It's obviously good preparation for these players to take the step up to the next level.
Absolutely. If I was a player playing in this tri-series, I would sense a lot of opportunity, especially from a batting point of view. We've seen the bowling attack in that national side be quite settled. They did a very good job. But from a batting point of view, if I was a batsman, this is a perfect opportunity to put your hand up, put some nice scores on the board, and put a little bit of pressure on players at the national side.
Let's look at India, though, because obviously they're coming out in a similar boat. However, their senior side is very settled. They're number one ranking. Their batting seems to be almost producing runs at will, and they've got a nice settled and balanced bowling side. Opportunities different for their players here than, say, for the South African players.
I would say so. I think if you look at India, their depth is really strong currently. But I also think we've seen India when they've toured your southern hemisphere sides where the pitches bounce a little bit more. This is where they can really see who the players are that can play well on more bouncier conditions. And also they've got sides against India, or they've got games against Australia and England as well coming up. So that'll give them a good indication how their batsmen especially adapt to more bouncier conditions.
John, let's go back to South Africa's tour of England, where the bowling seems to have succeeded. I mean, they've bowled out England for 200, 300 for the most time. It's what you want from an international attack. So opportunities for bowlers perhaps a little bit more limited. That looks settled. As Kruger's alluded to, though, batting positions up for grabs, or have we got the best six pretty much in the national side at the moment?
I think there's some good players coming through. There's a Mulder who's known as an all-rounder, for instance. He's more a batsman for me. So that's something that always looking for players in that mould that can bat and offer something in a a la Stokes role, where he can make the side as a batsman and he can bowl some handy overs as well. But as you say, the batting is a bit of a concern at this moment in time. Obviously, our first innings totals in these Test matches weren't ideal. Getting bowled out for 200 and below, you're under pressure from the get-go. So we really need some consistency.
So let's see who the protagonists are that are playing in this game. Earlier on, Dumisa Makalima caught up with a couple of the players.
Hendrik, you're in the final. How's your preparations as a team gone so far?
I think very well. I've been working hard during the whole campaign so far, so I think it's very good.
Personal preparations, you missed out in the last game, not because you were out of form, but because you were rested. But you've come back in the team now. How's your plans been going personally?
No, I think very good. Quite blessed to be here and looking forward to this final.
And you guys lost the toss, and you've been put into bed. Does that change your guys' game plan a little bit since the last game that you guys played against India? They put you in, and it was a close call.
Not really. I think you should play every wicket on its own merit. I think this morning we'll do a little bit, but otherwise I think that overall the whole series has been very good wickets.
And how's your tournament gone so far as a team, if you can sum it up?
I think very, very good. I think this is the first time that we've been in a final and we start stringing wins together. So I think hopefully today we will pull it through again.
Sanju, you are in the final today. How has your preparations gone so far as a team?
Yeah, actually, we have already played 4 matches here in South Africa. So first we came here, first 1 or 2 matches were a bit tough for us because normally we take time to get used to the conditions, and now I think we're almost there. I think we are ready for the final.
You lost the first game against South Africa. You came back and won the second game, which was a very close margin. What kind of preparation going into this game that you're going to focus on in terms of what transpired in the last game?
I think actually we played 2 matches against the South African team. I think both the matches were very close, I think. So I think we have played already 2 matches, and the opponents, I think we know what all they do. We know their bowlers, we know their batsmen. So there has been a lot of planning going inside the team meeting rooms, and I think we are almost ready for the finals.
Is there any specific department that you guys are going to be focusing on as a team since you lost the first game and then you won the second game? Any department specifically you're going to be focusing on?
I think in a final, I think it's very important. All the batting, bowling and fielding, all 3 things are very important in the final. I think we have been doing reasonably well, I think, but I think this day counts. I think we have to put in the effort in the last day.
Some key protagonists in this final today here between South Africa and India. What sort of conditions are we going to get here at Assupol Tuks, particularly given this time of year? Well, Kruger van Wyk is no stranger to this ground. Kruger, what do you expect from the surface?
Well, I think India would be buoyed by the opportunity to bowl first here. We've seen just the first 10 overs of every game where there's just a little bit of lateral movement, but I actually see it being a very good wicket. We've also seen as the game has progressed, there's a little bit turn, funnily enough, actually earlier on in the morning when there's still a little bit of moisture in, but it's good cricket wickets. We've seen a lot of runs being scored, and the spinners will come into the game a little bit later on. As it slows up more than anything, it just gets a little bit slower, but it doesn't turn a lot. But I think conditions will play well. It's a good one-day wicket. It has played well during all these matches, so I think we're in for a very good game.
Well, let's look at the specific surface and go out to the centre with Dumisa Makalima.
Thank you, Brett. There's always a talk about how this pitch is going to play. It's a beautiful day out there. It's cloudless up in the sky, and there's not too much wind. This is a business end. This is why we're here. And it's very interesting what the captains are actually going to decide. If we go down here on the good length ball, there is a little bit of moisture, which is usually the talking point about the mornings here. The team that usually wins the toss here first usually would like to bowl because it does a little bit and hardens up in the afternoon. But it's going to be very interesting in terms of the team tactics. If I was a captain of both of these teams, if I win the toss, I would definitely be having a look at bowling first.
So Dumisa Makalima's opinion of the pitch. John Kent, when it gets to toss time, where would you go? Would you like to get runs on the board, or would you like to have a chase today?
Normally one-day cricket they say get runs on the board, but here history tells you that there's a bit of moisture. Like Kruger said, there's a bit of turn for the spinners as well, and it flattens out as the day goes on. So it's a no-brainer. Win the toss and bowl, I'd say.
Kruger, the 2 games between these 2 sides have both been very close encounters. A low-scoring game, but that wasn't here at Assupol Tuks. The last game here, India chased down 270 with just 1 wicket remaining. So it does seem as if it gets a little bit flatter in the afternoon.
It does, and we've seen that trend almost developing as the games have progressed. Even again, Afghanistan teams have preferred to bat second. So yes, these 2 teams are well balanced. They've competed nicely. So if you chase or if you set a score on this pitch, I do think it'll be a good contest.
So setting a score doesn't look like the option. It looks like you want to chase here. So the toss could be key. Let's go back to the centre and join Dumi once again.
Good morning and welcome to Pretoria, where South Africa A will be taking on India A for the final of the CSA Triangular Series. Joining me at the toss side here is the South African A captain Kaya Zondo, Manish Pandey, the India A captain rather, and the match referee Mr. Lawrence Matruas. Kaya Zondo will spin the coin. Heads is called. And heads it is. Yeah. Manish, you've won the toss. What have you decided?
We're going to bowl first.
Same tactic as you went the last game they played against him. Do you think that you can, looking at anything that you want to improve on?
Oh, definitely. To start with the fast bowlers to taking up early wickets and try to get as many wickets as possible early and giving us a good base. And we're going to stick to the same thing what we did yesterday and same basics.
How have your preparations gone so far for the final?
I think we're pretty relaxed. We are good. We know what we have done in all this tournament. We have been scoring runs and taking wickets. I think we just want to continue the same performance.
Good luck for the game.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Kaya, you've lost the toss. Would you have decided any otherwise? Had you won it?
Yeah, we would have also bowled. There's a little bit of movement in the morning, but it's not a major thing.
Is that due to the game you guys played last week, where India batted first? Do you think that it offers a bit in the morning and it quickens up in the afternoon?
Yeah, it does move around a little bit in the morning. It's a bit slow, but I mean, you just have to adjust as a team. Other than that, it's pretty equal.
How have your preparations gone for the final so far?
They've been good. We've played some good cricket, in the round robins, and we're just going to come out and do the same thing this time around.
Is there anyone new coming in your team regarding the team that played against Afghanistan?
Yeah, just Klaasen comes back into the team and Mosehle out.
Good luck for the game.
Thank you very much.
And there is the story in the middle. India has won the toss and they've chosen to bowl.
So India have won an important toss. Kruger, as we look at the two teams here, you would imagine that's a good toss to win.
I think it's a good toss to win. They cover all the options from a bowling point of view. We've seen their seamers do really well, a guy like Kahul, but also I think two very important spin bowlers that will come into play for them. If you look at Akshar Patel and also Chahal, two very fine bowlers who've done well in this series as well.
John, let's look at that South African A batting lineup. Just speaking a little bit off air to Shukri Conrad, the coach, he said when the pitch gets easier in the afternoon, he wanted to make sure he had the best bowlers. So that side may look a little batting light.
Yeah, absolutely. They've gone for two all-rounders. You look at the Bizarre Half-Out Lions pairing of Bjorn Mulder, Dwayne Pretorius, and the spin, as you say. Pengiso's been standout. He's been a top wicket taker for our side this week. But Hendricks has been in the runs, and so has Klaasen as well. So they're actually in some form up top there. So Shukri Conrad will hope they deliver today.
The tactic that the South African openers are going to deploy, Kruger, given the way it's played in the past week, it's probably a little bit to see off the new ball in that power play as opposed to all-out attack.
Absolutely. I think you have to go back to slightly more traditional tactics where you set the game up in the first 10 overs, keeping in mind they are only playing 5 specialist batsmen and the 2 all-rounders. So I think that circumspect start will be important. Even if they get to about 40 of the first 10, I think that's a good start.
So, John, what sort of target? I suppose it's early to assess this, but we saw 266 not being quite enough here a couple of days ago. It's not your 350 type score here. Perhaps it is that sort of 260, 270 type score that South Africa will target. If they get more, it's bonus.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're 270, between 270 300. That would be an ideal score for them, depending on how it plays early on. We see after the first couple of overs what's happening. But Shukri Conrad did mention that the spinners like to get involved in the middle section of the game. So that might give us a hint of that. They might try to put the bowlers under a bit of pressure earlier on in the match. I know Cruz said it is wise to play it a bit more traditionally if it's got a bit of action in the wicket, but they need to try to put that bowling lineup under a bit of pressure earlier in this match.
Let's go back to opportunity, Kruger, because you've mentioned already the name Reza Hendricks. He got 170 earlier in the competition. We've seen South Africa's openers battle at senior level. Stephen Cook being left out, Hanakun being picked battling. Aidan Markram's the heir apparent. Reza Hendricks a little bit the forgotten man of South African cricket at the moment, but he's been in good touch in this competition.
Absolutely. He's most definitely someone not to be discarded. He's a leading run scorer in this tri-series as well, and he's played beautifully. He has looked untroubled. He's been technically very solid, and he's put the numbers on the board. So definitely not someone to discard.
And we're not just talking about the 50-over game. We can look at all formats because his ability to dominate an attack when he gets in.
Absolutely. You can see him coming to his prime now. He's a mature player. His decision-making has been spot on. So he's an option in all 3 formats. Yes, he didn't score as many runs in the T20s in England, but definitely something I would keep in mind.
John, obviously we're focusing a little bit here on South African side and looking at opportunity. Heinrich Klaasen's another man who's got 100. He hasn't been in good touch, and he is a man knocking on the door, although it's unlikely that he's going to outdo Quinton de Kock.
Absolutely. He's been in and around the squad recently, hoping he can get involved. But as you say now, for me, he's more a 5-6 finisher.
So play's about to get underway. Let's go upstairs now and join our commentary team.
And mix it to 5 and Identity Felix. Identity Felix. Identity 8.
Yes, and welcome to Pretoria. This is a big day between South Africa and India. It is the final of the Tri-Series tournament that has gone so well thus far. It is absolutely cloudless up here. The morning is beautiful. The players are good to go. And these players have played against each other twice already coming into this final. It is going to be a tussle. Very interesting contest. Both teams are very experienced. They'll be looking to be the victors towards the end of the day. The last tactics being discussed by the Indian side was won the toss and put the South Africans into bat for the second time this series. All the experience of Reza Hendricks and Henry Davids will need to come out today. They've been very good in the past, these two. Reza Hendricks coming off an outstanding century a couple of days back. And Henry Davids as well has not been too shabby with the bat. Probably would love to convert this time around. It is a very, very experienced Indian side. Half of these players have played for their national team, and most of them are playing in the IPL. So it is a very well balanced Indian side that is taking on the field. Will be very important that man Henry Davids plays his cricket in these parts of the country for the Titans, knows the conditions very well. I think all that experience that we are talking about will come into play. Age 37, no longer a youngster, Henry Davids. Very good match stats, 170 matches at a decent average of 32. And that will be his other partner, a little bit younger than Henry, but has been in very good form lately. 900s toward his name and 25 50s. Most important part is that strike rate. He scores at 86. That's going to be very handy for the South African side. To start off the proceedings for India will be Shardul Thakur, age 25. Has had very good stints for India in this last couple of days. Will be very, very important to see how it starts off. And joining me here at the commentary box, it is John Kent, the former South African player and Dolphins player.
Cheers, Demi. Good morning. Good morning to the viewers out there. About to get cracking. Here we go. That is a great shot. Unfortunately, no runs. Really punched that well off the back foot. Henry Davids, he had a blinder of a last domestic season, Momentum Cup. He was some unbelievable form. Went all the way. 2 out of 3 possible trophies they won under Mark Boucher in his first season as a franchise coach, and only narrowly missed out in the 4-day competition as well. Was another beautiful shot off the back foot, punching it through the offside. Teaser, and it beats him. The first boundary of the match.
That's what Henry Davids does so well. On that occasion, he just rocks back and gets into position very quickly. And just a slight punch through the covers. Not too much power, but timing more than anything else.
Oh, lovely to see Raul Draver this morning. He's the head coach of this A team. He also is head coach of the under-19 setup as well. What a legend of the game. Very fortunate players in the setup to learn from an icon like him in Indian cricket. Nice bit of shape there, bit of moisture. The first two balls really did come through, and Henry Davids used the pace and bounce and punched it beautifully off the back foot. This time not really carrying through to the keeper.
And this is what India did in the last game when they played South Africa. They won the toss and they put South Africa straight into bat. The pitch did offer a bet. I think that's why they've chosen this decision early on. They want to strike early, they want to put pressure on the South African batsmen, and they don't want them to get away very quickly.
Which is the lazy
That's a good area. Nice late swing. A lot of Indian players in this lineup have got a bit of RPL fame. A couple of very familiar names, Samson, Rishabh Pant, who really lit it up in this most recent RPL, Naya, Pandey. So plenty have enough experience to call upon here. Oh, that is a glorious stroke. The bowler came wide in the crease, trying to use the angle, and that's been hammered.
I think the most important thing about this stroke, which is to me a touch better than the first stroke, he gets so far across that he covers his off stump, staying side on Henry David, and punches it through cover point, textbook style for another boundary.
Oh, they've put a man at very short catching just in front of square point area, and he didn't stand a chance. That's a bit in area. Try and get the batsman forward, get the ball swinging. End of the first over. Good one from South Africa. 8 for none.
This opening pair is very important for this South African lineup. They usually get off to very good starts. When they do get in, Henry Davids facing that full over and getting 2 boundaries to his name. Klaasen comes off 127 against the same Indian side about a week ago, and then you got the experience of Kaya Zondo, Farhan Beadin, you got Mulder, you got Pretorius. It is a very tall order.
Just a fraction towards you. That's it.
And they will want to maximize the rest of that order, especially towards the back end of the innings. Siddharth Kahul, 50 matches today, will start the proceedings for India from the high performance center end. Best bowling of 6 for 32.
It's a pretty good average, just above 20. Strike rate pretty good as well. So Reza Hendricks, he's been in some terrific form. 170 odd, not out. Part of that T20 squad that went to England. I'd like to see him bat long today. Not front on. Also gets a bit of a way swing as his fellow opening bowler on the other end. Good start from him.
Yeah, he's bowled well throughout this series. He's run in with conviction, with a purpose, and he's hit those good areas that are needed on this wicket. I feel as if it's a type of wicket where you mustn't float the ball. You really got to put your back in, and that's what he's done for India in these last couple of days playing on this wicket.
Once again, pretty tidy length he looks to hit. Consistency's right up there. A little bit of a way swing. He's got a slip or two in position. Sorry, a slip in a gully at this moment in time. It'll be interesting to see after lunch how much swing's going to be around. I don't think there's going to be much. The moisture really is in this first part of the game. So the bowlers want to really try and utilise this and try and strike early, put the batting side under pressure. We talked about the wicket, how it tends to flatten out as the day goes on.
It just tends to quicken up in the afternoon. I mean, the sun will definitely beat down on it. It is clear skies here in Pretoria. It is a beautiful morning. It will do a bit this wicket in the first 30-40 minutes or so, but then it just tends to become a very good wicket in the afternoon. Hence, India has taken this decision of putting the South African side into bat first.
Saying that, South Africa bats well. It could really backfire on this Indian side. Oh, that's a good delivery. Swinging again. Reese Hendricks not really getting forward there. He generally likes to hang on the crease and punch it with the back foot, and he's very strong off his pads as well.
Yeah, and just reading Shukri Conrad's comments about his final is that he would like his batting to actually be more consistent, not to worry much about his bowling. I think they've done all the hard work. I think his batting, you know, they've gotten a lot of starts but just haven't been able to convert. Reza just come off a very good 100, so he's happy with that. But the rest of the lineup.
Once again, tidy area. You say that the top's been where the runs have been scored so far, the 200s. The middle order, yeah, a little bit inconsistent. As you're saying, that's something that could be improved upon. That engine room, having a look at the wicket, a bit worn in the crease area. But it really is a wonderful batting surface, as many of the grounds in the Pretoria area are. To be honest, as a bowler, you got to really pull something out the bag, create something. So there's not much on offer from that. Oh, a very good over from Caller Maiden. 2 overs gone. South Africa 8 for naught.
Very strong sides, these two teams, very experienced, and both teams have got certain individuals who are in form. Reza Hendricks has just come off 100, so is Klaasen, and the star of that batting lineup for the Indian side has been the captain, Manish Pandey. Tends to feed off of the experience and the legendary and the knowledge of Rahul Dravid, who is their coach. So all to play for today here in Pretoria. Is going to be a fantastic game, and I'm very interested to see how the tactics are going to go for the rest of the day.
It's a good length that. What we've seen so far is more shape through the air, not too much off the deck, not really much seam movement. Saw Reza Hendricks in the previous over not really get a stride in on some wickets. They just nip back there. Could run into a little bit of trouble, but here it's very true. A little bit of shape through the air, but once it hits the deck, it's straight onto the middle of the bat, more often than not. Down the wicket, and that's a big stroke. Henry Davids trying to step it up, put them under pressure early.
He does tend to do this, Henry Davids. He doesn't like the bowlers to settle on one area, because for the last couple of overs the Indians have been hitting that good length delivery, and this is how he plays his game. Henry Davids, he tends to put bowlers under pressure very quickly, especially early in the over.
His experience tells him that don't worry about something like that. It's gone past the bat. I'm still going to put him under pressure here. Carrying through nicely through to the keeper. Just a bit of pace, a bit of a waist swing again, but Henry Davids is that type of player. Love watching him bat. He's always trying to put that bowler under pressure. See how the bowler responds to it. So far, he's done very well.
Beautiful shape. Good to see as a keeper when the ball carries, and you'll see the keeper fingers pointing the sky. It just shows the carry that this wicket has early on this morning.
Problem here with these type of wickets is, well, it's not a problem if you're a batsman, put it that way. You get a touch straight, you get flicked quite comfortably, and you bowl sort of sixth stump, and that's also going cracking through the offside. So the margin for error as a bowler is very, very small. And I suppose that's a great way to get ready for international cricket, really. You want to be as likely to international cricket as possible, and this is a good wicket. You get wonderful wickets in ODI cricket. Well bowled, quick single, well judged.
Yes, beautiful stroke by Henry Davids, playing that one with the swing and not quite following through, being very watchful, and a very good quick single. Absolutely good cricket. It's very important to not settle in one end and be stuck. Gotta share the pressure between yourself and your partner.
Very good length to him. End of the third over, 9 for no loss.
Facing the bulk of the balls, Henry Davids, 11. Not quite getting off the mark, Henry. These two Indian bowlers have bowled well. They've hit their areas early on. I think those two boundaries from Henry Davids have just been magnificent strokes, but they're really exploring that good length area, allowing the ball to do a little bit of swing and not giving much away. Taku to continue.
He started off very well and maiden with his first over. Henry Davids is going to face up a similar type of bowler. They both get a little bit of a waist swing, much of a muchness actually, and that's something that these batsmen might fancy. Normally the captain of the bowling side might try and mix it up, maybe left arm seamer, or maybe someone who nips it back with an away swing complement. Very similar, these two opening bowlers.
John, how important is it for South Africa to actually get, that's just a fantastic delivery, to get a win out of this game? I mean, considering the trying tour they just come back from England, where not much went their way, you know, and they're really trying to pick themselves up and go in the right direction by putting up good performances, especially in games like this.
That's a good piece of bowling, well played as well. This is where you want to be. If you want to play international cricket, you've gone through the domestic structures, you've performed. As we see Henry David, he's done for a very long time. Very good player, Reza Hendricks, likewise, been in the system for some time, a consistent performer at domestic level. But can they perform consistently at this level and ODI level? That's what we want. That's the guys we want in that side. Guys who perform consistently, and more importantly in the big tournaments. That's where we want consistency. Guys that can step up to that big occasion. Oh, he's gone in straight. Henry Davids thought about the second but turns it down. Oh, he didn't get shape on this one. This one just kept angling in down past the leg stump.
Yeah, I think that's the sort of variation that Kawul has. The ones that straightens, you're expecting it to swing because that's what he's been doing for the last 8 or 9 balls. On that occasion, it just holds its line, testing the batsman's balance. That occasion, Henry Davids getting a slight better onto it.
Oh, he's driven that upish straight into the gap for 4, and he gets himself off the mark with that wonderful boundary.
Just a beautiful stroke from Reza Hendricks. It was a bit upish, but he just timed that through the covers with a lot of ease. Doesn't quite get his foot across, but such as the nature of the pitch, he's thrusting the pitch. Just times that one and eases it through the vacant extra cover region to pick up a boundary.
7 dot balls before that, keeping him on naught. They've been pretty patient. And the bowlers, he went straight to Henry Davids, turned over strike, and now boundary. So piece of batting and strike rotation. Oh, that's a goodie. That's a beauty.
Missed his mark by half a foot. The previous ball got driven to the extra cover boundary, and this occasion he's straight back on that area of undecisiveness. Doesn't quite get forward, doesn't quite get back. Just good bowling. Just gone 5 off this over with 1 ball to go.
Angling in once again. Into the 4th over, 14 for none.
Looking at the experience of the South African A side, 170 matches for Henry Davids. Farhan Berdeen sits on 182. Aaron Pangi. So there's a lot of experience in this lineup. Most of these players have stepped up and they've performed at international level. That's why this game is going to be so fascinating in terms of the tactics that are going to be applied and the patience that are going to be tested.
Down the wicket. Oh! Oh, goodness me. One hand thrown at it, and it's got away from him. 2 runs the result. Henry Davids coming down once again, trying to step up the pressure on Takua.
And understanding exactly what Henry Davids is trying to do, the Indians have settled on one place on this occasion, coming down the wicket, sort of a little flick of his legs, and a valid dive in vain. They need to take their chances here. The Indians can't afford to be giving these South African batsmen chances.
Pushed into the offside very firmly. They've got some reinforcement. The one slip's gone out into the offside. 4 fielders now in the offside, just the 2 on the leg side. Fine leg regulation. The background, the Cricket South Africa High Performance Centre, wonderful facility. This development around the ground has been superb. Where we are sitting right now in the pavilion as well, super addition to this area. Tuks, Kruger van Wyk, yeah, heads it up and produced some fine cricketers last couple of years. We continue to wish Kruger well, developing the future stars. We've seen Lungi and Gidis, the Markrams, a number of super players come through. I'm sure you can rattle a few more names off behind me. Any others? Good shot, and that's gone for 4. Just leaned on that one.
Just a very good stroke from Henry Davids. Just merely a punch. Just shows you how good this pitch is. Early on, he's coming onto the bat. Just taking half a step and just leant onto that one, finding that extra cover region once again. So putting away the bad balls, the South African batsmen thus far.
Once again, pushed wide of mid-off, quick single, got to rotate that strike. There have been 4 boundaries. A score of 21 so far, so that's ground in the power play. There's not that many singles around. The ball gets to the infielders very quickly, but once it beats the infield, it's gone.
Decent over from South Africa. 7 so far.
Quick single. That is quality cricket. Good finish to the over. 22 for no loss. Batsman to come. Klaasen informs Zondo, the captain. Behardin, international experience. All-rounders, Mulder Pretorius, Pangiso. He's been the standout spinner. I must say, let's touch on the spin bowling in the country at the moment. Keshav Maharaj, outstanding performance in the Test series. Tahir we've got Shamsi, we've got Pangiso. That is 4 quality spinners. So for us right now, that is in a very healthy position. Call's going to continue. Oh, he's edged it. Regulation catch behind the stumps. Good delivery, moving away from Hendricks, and he's on his way back. That's the first wicket down.
The Indians opening bowlers have been asking questions. They've missed their mark on 1 or 2 occasions, but for the bulk of their deliveries thus far, they have hit those areas of uncertainty. And on this occasion, good length ball, moving slightly away. At fault, there is a Hendricks playing slightly away from his body, and it takes the edge on its way to the keeper. First wicket down for South Africa. Reza Hendricks 5, South Africa 8, 22 for 1.
Great delivery, back of a length, moving away. Slip fielders were in position as well if needed. A simple catch behind the wicket from Rishabh Pant. They've utilised conditions. They've nicked him off. Heinrich Klaasen arrives at the crease. The Multiply Titans average just below 30, 100, 450s. Strike rate 87 as well. He made his entrance to domestic cricket as a batsman who came in 5, 6, 7, that sort of region. But another look at that good delivery. Just pushing at it defensively, and he had to look behind him, and the keeper took a simple catch. Not a huge mover of the feet, it must be said. His hands are very good, exceptional. But as we were mentioning earlier, he was more in the finisher role, and he's been given an opportunity up the order at number 3. They've tried Jason Smith as well at number 3 in the game. Unfortunately, it didn't capitalise. He's sitting out today's game. But having a look, the front foot doesn't really get out to the ball too much. But early on, there's always a bit of nerves, a bit apprehensive. That's a pretty good length to him early on, you would say.
Yeah, and he is a player who comes from this part of the country as well. He plays his cricket for the Titans. Usually good batting decks here. You'll find that players who come from this region of the country don't usually have those big strides coming to the ball, because they're trusting the pace. So he's not a big mover off the ball, off his feet, but he has just come off a magnificent innings of 120 odd against India.
Oh, there he goes, walking down the wicket. Didn't take him long, and he's caressed this one through extra cover for 4. There's a cracking way to get off the mark. Wonderful to see him. He had a quick look, the first couple of deliveries, and now he just stepped out, outside the off stump, and put it away beautifully.
Just 2 steps down the wicket and beautifully eased. A bit straighter than extra cover, but the hands did all the talking. It just shows the mind state of the man, where he's at in terms of his batting, the confidence that he's taken from the previous game they played against India A to score that 100, and he's taking that form into this game.
No was the call. He's going to have a go. Henry David, he wasn't interested in that quick single. Talking about that previous shot, you know, some batsmen come running down the wicket. I'm not quite sure where it's going to end up, but that was a classy stroke. Let's have another look at that. He tapped it and it went automatically, and he would have been found wanting. Henry Davids, for me, gave the right call.
Absolutely. You don't want to be losing early wickets with miscommunication such as run-outs.
The hands once again creaming it to mid-off. End of the 6th over, a wicket and 4 runs. 26 for 1. One wicket to go. Reza Hendricks caught behind, bold call, good delivery, but there's going to be a change upstairs. Brett Proctor's moving in alongside him, Kruger van Beek.
Thank you, John. It's been a challenging morning. It's been pretty decent cricket because there's been a little bit on offer for the Indian seamers, Thakur and Rahul. And whilst always trying to be positive, there's been the odd boundary opportunity. But whilst the wicket for the most part is a very good one, as you'd expect this time of year with an early 9:30 start, there's just a little bit of moisture in it, giving some movement to a seam attack that for the most part has gone full. Here goes Thakur to Davids.
Yes, Henry Davids has looked in ominous form this morning. He's played a couple of really nice cover drives in an area which he is really strong in. I think it's really important between two of their premier batsmen that they look to build a nice partnership, just to get them through this first little initial period where there's a bit of lateral movement.
It's a bold stroke. It's going to yield runs, but it was unconvincing. Driving on the up, aiming probably more towards the offside, thick inside half. He picks up a couple, and obviously growing in confidence, but he'll be disappointed about the looseness of that shot.
Yes, Brett, we've already seen him give a half-chance opportunity to the guy at mid-on. Just something to rethink. With the ball swinging away from him, maybe a stronger option for him would be that straight cover area, also one of his strengths.
Feels interesting, Kruger, bowling from the university end, a different type of bowler, more skiddy type of bowler. They've just got the one slip. For Rahul, who's got more carry, they've got the 2 in.
No! Absolutely. If we see the centre of excellence end, there is slightly more bounce from that end. And also interesting to see how the captain adjusted nice and early here as well. He sensed that most of your modes of dismissal will probably be in front of the wicket. They've taken a slip out, and he's bowled a nice straightish line as well. So he's adjusted his line and length as well.
Gee, I must say the ground looks in really good nick for this time of year up here on the high felt. It's a green outfield as opposed to a white one.
Alfred and William, they've done an absolutely wonderful job here, and people who've been with the ground for years, very committed, love their cricket as well, so they've done a wonderful job over this last week and a half.
It's a tough task because they've played all but one of the games in this series at this ground, so to keep producing good surfaces, hopping between one and the one alongside is a good effort. He's looked better through the offside today, has Henry Davids. When they've given him a bit of width, he's played a couple of lovely back foot strokes for 4 and then one excellent extra cover drive. When he's bowled straight and he's tried to force to the onside, he hasn't looked as comfortable. That's a good run. The fact that his partner was sufficiently alert, and they just caught mid-off a little bit napping. The end of the 7th over, and South Africa A, a little bit of early trouble having lost Reza Hendricks, have got to 29. Henry Davids has looked inventive, he's looked bold, as he always does. He had a very good momentum cup last season for the Titans, hence his elevation to this level. They're kicking on to just seize opportunity, put pressure. The pressure, I suppose, on the national side, Kruger, is more in the test lineup. The one-day batting side seems to be a little bit more prolific and a little bit more entrenched. Cole. Oh, extra bounce.
Yes, Brett, as you mentioned earlier, that extra bounce once again we see from the centre of excellence end. But yes, if we look at the batting order at the test side, a lot of opportunities up for grabs there, and a perfect opportunity for any South African batsman, if it's domestically or in this tri-series, just to put your hand up, get some consistent scores. And during this series, those guys have probably been Kaya Zondo. Been really impressed with how he's batted. Heinrich Klaassen, and then Reza Hendricks, who was dismissed the previous over.
Up in the air it goes, could be taken, difficult chance, circling back, gets beneath it, takes a very good catch. That is a really good catch. Going back from 45, ball going away from him. The new ball partner of Kaul has run back and taken a very good catch. And South Africa A in early trouble. They've lost Henry Davids, they're 29 for 2.
Absolutely, Henry Davids, he was looking in really good form. But Shardul Thakur, who just bowled the previous over, he made a lot of ground, got himself into a very good position and took a fine catch. And those are the sorts of things that when you play in finals, those half chances, they are really important.
Tell you what, he made that catch look a lot easier than it is. The end of Henry Davids, flattered somewhat to deceive. Thakur takes the catch, he's gone for 20, 29 for 2.
As we see the captain of the South African A side, Kaya Zondo, come in. He's looked in very good form. Kaya Zondo, South African A captain, he comes to the crease. He's been in very good form during this tri-series thus far.
He's out there because of this. Not quite sure of the shot selection. He got undone. He'd advanced up the wicket to try and get the length he wanted, a fuller length, and Cole saw him coming. That's a good shot, just helped on its way down to long leg by Klaassen, batsman having crossed. He adjusted the length well, did Cole, and just caught Henry Davids napping, so it got big on him as he was advancing. But really, you can't give enough credit to Shardul Thakur, who took a really good catch running back over his shoulder. It's never easy, the ball going away from you, and you've got to turn and go. Coming out of a clear blue sky, he really made it look easy. Super catch. South Africa A in early trouble. Skipper Zondo on strike.
Yes, that's a perfect area you want to be as a bowler. You want to draw the batsman forward just around that fourth stump area with a little bit of shape away, where the captain's also adjusted. He's put 2 slips in, and Captain Zondo, he would like to get that feet going nice and early here.
Certainly something he works on, Kruger. He knows when he's not in the best form that his feet hardly go anywhere. When he goes forward, you'll see his front foot goes just in front of the crease. As he gets confident, or certainly when runs are starting to come, his footwork becomes far more assured and he gets in a much better stride forward. Just have a look, early part of his innings, normally you're a little bit insecure. Let's watch his footwork.
Absolutely, Brett. And I think especially in conditions when there's just a little bit of lateral movement like we've seen this morning, so important that you're decisive in your foot movement. Just sometimes it's a matter of being nervous, you know, just controlling that nerves, that emotional control, especially when you start an innings. So the better he settles, the better it'll be for this team here as well.
Yeah, because the nature of the selection of the South African side, you've got Bahadin coming in 5, then there were rounders already, Pretorius and Mulder at 6 and 7. They've got a longer tail than you'd like, so 2 down early, they're under pressure, need a partnership. The end of 8 overs, and it's been a good start by India A winning the toss. They've reduced South Africa A to 30 for 2. Here's the South Africa A lineup you see for today. Mulder, whether he'll bat 6, he's inexperienced, but I think, Kruger, for me, one of the features there from a batting perspective is the averages of a side that has a lot of experience. If you look at David's 170 matches, Bardeen 183, you'd expect if you're knocking on the door of higher honours, your career average should be 45 or above. Nobody's in the 40s there, and that is somewhat concerning for me.
Absolutely. The 2 things you want to look at is volume. The second thing is average. And for you to be a really good international cricketer, you've got to dominate the level below. So I think that is something that does stand out quite clearly from all the batters in this side.
Oh, that's a good shot worth nothing. Yeah, your point is well made, because, I mean, the general public, we love to be armchair selectors, don't we, with the national side, and we go, oh, that guy in the senior side, he's not making enough runs, get him out and get the next one in. Now, I suppose, with due deference, Heine Kuhn is a man that you might speak of. He's had an indifferent series, haven't been picked, he hasn't got a 50, but he's been an absolute linchpin for the Titans for so many years. He's been one of the most prolific players, so you can understand why he got elevated. So if he can't do it, it's going to be tougher for someone who's got an even lesser average at domestic level. Flicked away at a long leg, it speeds down there just for the one.
Yes, I do feel for Heine Kuhn, because I feel you have to go through that phase where if you get selected for the national side, it not be a case of just having dominate for 1 season. You've got to do it for 2, 3, 4 seasons. And I think sometimes it's important for young players to realize as well, it's one thing being an international cricketer. A lot of players will get selected to play international cricket, but that you are a very good international cricketer. And I feel that should be their goal. And for them to do that, I'd like to see more batsmen average over 40 and 45, like you mentioned.
It has to be. The counter side of the coin, and I'm just going to shoot our argument right in the foot, is that there'll be young players that come on and you can just sense, you can see from the word go that this has got international class oozing. It's a good shot. It's where he likes it, Zondo, short and wide, and he gets it down to third man to get off the mark. I suppose we could throw Markram into that category. He's got that aura about him of dominance when he's at the crease. He's a tall, angular, strong young man, very powerful, has led our under-19 side to World Cup honours. He has a pedigree. So it's always been the thought, well, let's hold him back because we know the step to higher level is so big. But sometimes as a player, you just give the opportunity there to the manner born, as it were, and it may just be the one we require. Big appeal, gone! Claessens doesn't want to go. The Indians were convinced. Adrian Holstock sends him on his way, and South Africa A are in heaps of trouble at 32 for 3.
As we have a look at this dismissal, a little bit of swing, but his feet not going anywhere on that occasion. And we've seen already the dismissal of Risa Hendricks, similar fashion this morning, just a lazy bat outside the off stump.
Digging that one out. Cricket in early August in Pretoria. You'd never think that, would you? Seasons, there's almost no season anymore. These sides play all year round. It's just all about preparation for the highest level, preparing the next tier of players for the ultimate honor. Nicely turned away to the onside. He'll keep the bowling with that single. It's 12 overs gone, and it's 41 for 3 South Africa A as they try and recover from their indifferent start, having been asked to bat first. Henry Davids looked in reasonable touch before playing across one and getting a top edge. Good catch by Tuks. The pitch is seen to the outside edge of Hendricks and Claessen's. Siddharth Kaul has bowled particularly well in knocking over that top order. 41 for 3 after 12. South Africa A in a restoration project at the moment. Time for a change of voice. It's John Kent and Dumisa Makalima.
Indifferent start it is, as Brett Proctor puts it. They are up there with the run rate, but they've just been losing wickets on regular intervals. That's been the problem with the South African A-side scorecard at the moment.
Basil's coming into the attack here. Basil Tampi. Very short list A career, 10 games only, so huge amount of experience to call upon, but they've targeted him, they've identified him. One to look out for in Indian cricket coming forward. Got a bit of sling about him, and he's been cut past point. And chases on, just the 2.
He's been very watchful. Farhan Beadine moves on to 9, facing 15 balls. And he's needed to. Just rocks back and just eases that towards that backward point boundary for a couple. Lots of work they need to do here, South Africa A.
Short, and he's bunted that one to mid-on. Find another word for that one.
Unorthodox. That looks much better, Farhan. Keep presenting that full face of the bat. Yeah, he usually comes in at the back end of the innings. That's the job that he usually does for the national side, where he is a finisher and is very good at that role for the Titans as well. Different sort of role here today.
Very slingy. He's giving a bit of width. He's got to be very mindful here. Behardine pulling out of that previous cut shot. Well, the very first stroke he played, he didn't quite time it, but he beat the offside field. But yes, took going back on him in the Champions Trophy and the like, he in and out and enjoy the most productive of times. And Henry Davids, you saw 37, 38 region, he's early 30s as well, and you know, the guys need to really push on now. This is their time. Wide again. He's got a bit of protection on this occasion.
Yeah, maybe something we need to maybe discuss and just maybe for the viewers out there, how big is the gap from the South African A side to the national side? As we have had a look at the national side at the moment, that is in England on their way back from that terrible loss yesterday. We've kind of been struggling to find the correct combinations, especially up the order. Just one or two guys have struggled. just struggle to cement, especially the opening spot. And also the middle order batsman, number 6, 5, 6. How big is the gap? Is it realistic that you perform here at South African A level, you score runs, you score the hundreds, that you can step up and just still continue with the form that you're in and still, you know, have some sort of success at that level?
Dot ball. Ends the over. 45 for 3. Four runs from Tampi's first over. 2 for 17. Superb opening spell from Cole. So one would think those two openers will be used, probably another 2 in the mid-innings and probably another 2 at the death. Looks like there's going to be another change out in the middle. Vijay Shankar, 26 years old, 34 matches as well. There's a new pavilion just to the right of the sight screen. Wonderful structure that's been put up here at the Tuks Oval. The net area on the left-hand side, down to third man. That's the prime net area for the High Performance Academy, National Academy, as well as the A side. It's really the hub, isn't it? This is where it all goes down. Oh, that's a proper loosener, that one. That looked like a stiff delivery.
Stiff delivery it is. Not quite hitting his straps. But yes, this is where the best in the country get groomed. They all come here. National Academy is here. Beautiful facilities. Spend 4 months, 5+ months here.
Oh, that one's gone awry again. Zondo must be thinking, where's the next one going? Not the easiest to face up to some of this. He'll roll up now and bowl a Jaffa. Cricket's a crazy animal. At the moment, he's having a tough time here. I've got 2 really good spinners. Axar Patel, they got Chahal, and they don't really want to use him just yet. The seamers have been productive. Oh, he smashed that. On your point about the domestic structure and stepping up to the national side, I suppose you had to look at that statistics we saw from the batting lineup. I suppose you can have a look at that. Oh, there we go. That's a bit of shape, but better from the bowler. But if you look at those statistics we saw from the batsmen in the side, a lot of them are early 30s, mid 30s, and we want our guys to step up and play ODI cricket, but I really would love to see guys getting 40, 45 average in those sort of regions from domestic cricket. And in domestic cricket, the last year or two, we've been seeing much bigger scores being posted. Always let that one go past. Good delivery again. But the 2020 introduction of that into the 50-over game has had an impact in the scores. We can see that Champions Trophy, huge scores being posted, 350s in those regions there, and that's 300's almost a par score these days. So with that, that's even more the point of we'd like to see, especially our specialist batsmen, averaging over 40 in the 50-over format. Get yourself in, go big. Oh, he's moved across and he's worked that leg side. Stepped a long way across there.
Yeah, it just shows where Shankar is looking to bowl. Clearly looking to be very disciplined outside that off stump. Hence Farhan wants to pull some maneuver. It's way outside off stump. It is stood still, probably could have cut that.
Zondo letting it go through his boulder. Very wide line, just inside the wide line so far. Couple of wides conceded. Zondo just occupying at the moment, trying to absorb a little bit of pressure. Run hard, rotate the strike well. He's the skipper. He needs to get this back on track. Oh, Fuller, bit of shape again. Still some swing on offer here.
That will conclude the 14th over. South Africa A, 50 for 3. Rebuilding stages. That's how the wickets have fallen in clusters. First one, 22. Second one, South Africa A with 29 down, and Klaasen departed. But the score was 32. So falling in clusters, the wickets. Not quite the momentum that they needed at the time. Junior Dala coming from these parts of the country as well, plays for the Titans. Just getting back to that point that we're talking about the gap between South Africa A and the national team. I think as well, it is quite important when you do make your debut, where you get chosen to make your debut. Now South Africa is going to play Bangladesh in Potchefstroom. Kind of different conditions to the English conditions, aren't they?
Yep, I agree with you there. Stand and deliver, and he's beaten him. Zondo's got it through, breaking the shackles for South Africa A.
He is overpitched on that occasion. A rare full ball from Tempi. No feet there for Kaya Zondo. Just trusting his hands to go through the line of the ball.
It stayed down a touch. Hasn't really got much shape away at the moment. That one just kept angling in as Zondo motions to his partner.
Being very watchful, these two. Betting well outside off stump. Feet are nowhere though. And I guess players have different tactics and different sort of conditions. Maybe these are the conditions that Kaya Zondo prefers, where there's not a lot of sideways movement.
Oh, Zondo edged it down to third man. He's got to run hard. But that last delivery, Zondo just took up position just outside the off stump. So he's trying to get in the bowler's channel, trying to knock him off his game, but at the moment it's a good piece of bowling. Steep bounce. Total contrast to the previous ball. Well bowled, Basil. Good piece of bowling. Two opening bowlers are quite alike in how they bowled and got some outswing. This bowler Basil Tempe, he's got a bit of a lower arm action. He's slingy. They don't want to let themselves down here from Indian A perspective. They've got off to such a good start. I'd be pretty disappointed if they let this partnership develop easily. Really want to keep the fielders in the ring involved in the game. Don't give too many freebies. That'll be at the top of their mind right now. And South Africa, on the other hand, just trying to rebuild, get some momentum back into their into the innings.
Absolutely. I think the mindset that Zondo, being the captain, betting with Farhan, the experience is rebuilt. Let's bet deep. Short ball pulled. It's going to be cut off. Good fielding at the deep Equasquilic boundary. They're going to come back for 2.
First real shot of authority. Saw Zondo hit a beautiful cover drive last over. And this time, on the one leg, beautifully pulled through square leg. Chahal of RPL fame. Good effort. Brilliant.
Yes, the Indian fielding has been impressive this tournament. Thrown themselves all over this field.
Pulled again and it's gone fine. Good slide and release. Brilliant piece of fielding. Saved a couple of runs. Last 2 balls. End of the 15th over. 59 for 3.
Biggest over of the innings thus far. 10 runs to the over. We'll need a lot more of these, the South African batting side. Just need to run hard and be very watchful, making sure you're putting away anything that is slightly loose.
Seen a lot more of those type of deliveries since the opening bowlers departed. Short, wide, giving the batsman some width. Shankar does look like a part-timer, all due respects. Compared to the first 2 bowlers we saw were very well disciplined, got some good away swing, and you always wonder what is their fast bowling depth. We know the national side in India got some guys with some express pace. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar as well. That's a better delivery. Quick single on the splice of the bat, and they've gone through for a quick single.
That's good running. Farhan wanting to get down to the striker's side. Also just realizing that if we're not scoring the boundaries, we've got to be looking to be running at every occasion that we can possibly have. Just to disrupt the momentum of the Indian bowlers, just to distract their plans.
Shot on the up, good length. Back onto the fast bowling resources. None of the real opening here really were express. More the type of swing bowler, hit some good areas. It's always good to see the fast bowling reserves of a country where they're at. Oh, jeepers. For a second, I thought they went through him. Bottom of the bat, through for another quick single.
Did well Farhan Bardeen to get his bat down on time there. Good Yorker delivery. But as you just said, he doesn't have the pace to actually penetrate his defenses. But very good bowling on that occasion. Yeah, a couple of days back, this is how India started actually when they won the toss. The second game they played against South Africa and stuck South Africa into bat. They quickly struck early, and it took an innings from Klaasen to get South Africa out of the mess they were in. Ended up scoring 127, which was magnificent.
Less said about that, the better. Just a couple I got away from him, and was wide in the first place, so they kept on swinging. That's where he wants to be.
You know, one of the questions I asked earlier on is, once you get sent into bat into this sort of pitch, because second time now South Africa's been sent into bat, do they have a total in mind? Because this is the third game on this pitch, has pretty much behaved similar to the way it behaved when they played together, these two. Would they have a total in mind?
Into the 16th over. 62 for 3. That's the sort of length got to be hitting to a player like Kayazonda. He's not the tallest, so he doesn't get a huge stride out, so get it up there, try and hit off stump. As you say, there's been a little bit of assistance from the bowlers point of view, bit of swing, maybe a touch too paced, but as the day develops, becomes the N1, and that's what India will be hoping for later on. Roll Dravid, right to screen, the wall, the legend. What a player. To have him in this setup in the under-19s must be what a pleasure that must be. He stood down from his RPL jobs and he's taken up this time taken up this role full time for 2 years, he mentioned. Obviously there was a bit of talk in the press about a clash, being in an RPL setup and then being in this setup, so they want some clarity and they want him to be here full time now. And he's put his hand up, he wants to be there. This morning coming to the ground, Herschel Gibbs, he's around as well. He's been working with our youngsters. Jonty Rose not too long ago as well was here, the National Academy, and that's what we need, the legends of our game, feeding off them. Yes, no.
No, it's absolutely great for the game to have such names being in the dressing room of the youngsters, the future of their respective countries. Genius player Rahul Dravid was back in his day, in his playing day. And South Africa A has also got Herschel Gibbs, who was a genius in his own right for South Africa, opened for a lot of years.
Just nudged. Cheap, I'll tell you what, Herschel, he is looking fit and strong. He always has done though, to be honest. He's fit, strong, multi-talented guy in all sports. In full flow, who will ever forget the Wanderers? I certainly won't.
Just a player who just made the game look easy up the order, played his strokes, and had a very good understanding, batting partnership with Graham Smith. Nicely done by Kayazonda. So imagine the influence that the likes of Herschel Gibbs have in the changing room with the batsmen Kayazonda, Farhan, Riza. What a way to learn.
Think of similarities. I think Henry David, he's got a bit of that X factor about him, but a la Herschel. Pleasure to watch, and he deposits the ball at will where he wants. We've seen that the last couple of years at Centurion. Wonderful stadium for cricket, that one. Tell you what, I'd love to bat there every day of the week. Short pulled, and that's a good shot. He's put it away behind square for 4.
It's a great shot there from Fahad Bardeen. Picked it up quickly and realized that The deep backward square leg was a touch in front. Rocks back and is quickly on it. Hitting this one way behind the deep backward square leg for 4 runs.
For the first time above 4 and over, so this partnership's been a good one. 36, 53 deliveries, absorbed a bit of early pressure. Boundaries are starting to come along now for both batsmen.
That single over there will finish the over. South Africa A 69 for 3 after 17 overs. A lot of teamwork will be needed. First partnership only lasting for 31 balls, 22 from Reza and Henry Davids. Not much came between Klaasen, Davids, and Zondo and Klaasen. But this is the most important one, I feel. The captain and the experience of Farhan Beardine. It sits on 37 after 54 balls. I just feel that they've weathered the storm of the good Indian bowling.
Doesn't look like great pace, but it looks like he bowls a heavy ball. That last one just nipped back, hit the splice pretty hard. But not much pace to speak of.
Good areas, not complicated. Forces Farhan to meet it halfway. Can't do much about it.
Talking about Baudin earlier, this is a time right now he must relish. Take control, get his team to a really healthy big total here. And he's got plenty of time here to get himself in. 32.5 overs worth, and once he's in, we know how destructive he can be.
Yeah, we spoke about his ability to finish off games, especially for South Africa. But he does a similar job for the Titans. So he's very familiar coming in early. But he's just a fantastic player, finishing off games, chasing especially. Just the ability to manage his innings and finish them off.
Just picking the fielders out to touch. He's hit some lovely shots on the offside. I really like to see Farhan really play with that belief we see in that domestic game when it comes onto the international stage. He's got such confidence and he's got so much flair. That's what you want to see when it comes out to those ODI type fixtures. Express yourself, show us what you got. He's got bucket loads of talent. Beautifully whipped. Wide of mid-on. Got a bit of work to do.
Over quick, over quick.
I think consistency has been the key for Farhan. He's been around and he's done the job. But he's got a different sort of task here, where he just needs to bat and bat with his captain to post a respectable score. And that will bring the end to the 18th over. South Africa A 70 for 3. And a change in commentary here for the next 30 minutes. The experience of Brett Proctor and the youth of Kruger van Wyk.
Projections. Run a ball 260. I think South Africa A would call time on the innings if you gave them 260 from here. 8 and over, that's optimistic thinking from this juncture, but 70 for 3 is somewhat of a recovery from 32 for 3. It's taken its time, and it's important that the skipper and his senior pro, Fine Bardeen, just continue to prosper. How they're doing. They've constructed this partnership pretty well. They've not looked for boundaries. They've run between the wickets very well, and the change bowlers haven't been quite as effective as Messrs. Thakur and Kowal, who were with the new ball. Herschel Gibbs, genius with the bat, now imparting his knowledge to the South African A upper order. He's consulting from a batting perspective, and a worthwhile cricketing mind to have for these young chargers. By the same token, to have as your coach the India A side, Rahul Dravid, one of the legends of the world game, not only the Indian game, the wall. If there's any man who can construct an innings, it would be he. Few better. He's up there obviously with the Tendulkars, the Laras, the Callises, the Pontings of this world. Sangakkara runs at the highest level in number. So the players have enjoyed a drinks break, and at 70 for 3, South Africa would probably go business as usual. And then when I say that, I talk of the last 45 minutes to an hour. India are introducing some spin. Slow left arm, Axar Patel, handy career. And just to see if there's a little bit of purchase in this surface to try and, with a change of pace, disrupt a partnership that is starting to become threatening. Kept a slip in, which would just suggest that the Indians, having played a number of games on this surface in this tri-series, see that there's early turn.
Yes, an important phase, this middle phase where rotation becomes really important, where your slower bowlers are introduced into the attack. It's nice to see them keep that slip in.
Nicely turned away to the onside. This will be South Africa's approach. They won't look to attack Axar Patel. They'll just look to pick off the ones as they still regroup after the early loss in the power play of 32 for 3. It's important that they can build a platform for the Milders and the Pretoriuses to play attacking games later on.
It's between Axar Patel and Yuzvendra Chahal. It's a huge strength of this Indian bowling attack and how they control the middle period.
Been a mature approach by the increasingly impressive skipper Kaya Zondo. He's had a couple of good seasons for the Dolphins, and trusted with the captaincy now, has warmed to that responsibility. Nicely down the ground from Bardeen.
Yeah, Zondo has looked in very good form throughout this series. He got a really good 60 finishing off the game, and also a good 20, so he'd be looking for that big score to lead his side to a very respectable total as well.
Picking him off easily, picking him off sweetly, and it's just the ones approach that will be adopted by Bahadin and Zondo. 4 from the over, 74 for 3. The Indians have bowled well in conditions that were conducive, certainly with the new ball. Siddharth Kowal and his new ball partner Thakur were impressive, but Kowal particularly got 2 wickets. Basil Thampi almost looks like he tried to be a little bit too quick. He used the short ball more than his seamer partners, and Shankar's just bowled the 3 overs. We've seen the first over of spin. Still a slip in place, bowling from the centre of excellence end, where there has been a little bit more bounce. Short and wide and cut comfortably out to the sweeper.
Yes, he's just really struggled to find that optimum length on this wicket. We've seen as the overs have progressed, not as much swing or seam anymore, and you want to bowl a lot tighter line. Maybe slightly pull your length back so it doesn't become so easy to hit through the line. He's just slightly struggled to find that length.
Oh, a cleaner piece of fielding there. The running's been good, but a cleaner piece of fielding there might have just found Zondo wanting.
Important piece of batsmanship, the running between the wickets, especially when you're under pressure and a lot of boundaries are coming your way, just to keep that intent.
Nicely turned, beautifully played. It was a lovely deflection. It looked so simple in its execution, but the knowledge that fine leg was quite square was so important to that stroke. He just let it run off the face for a very comfortable boundary.
Yes, and sometimes it's just that pressure which you transfer onto the bowler in the fielding side, which just this time causes a little bit of ill discipline when he bowls too straight. But good touch here by Captain Kaya Zondo.
Healthy partnership, this. Smeared away into the deep. Not quick enough to be short on this surface is Shankar. Kaya Zondo, for the most part, sits pretty deep in the crease. He really does like to get right back onto the stumps. You can see there, his front foot is behind the popping crease. Something of its unique to his own technique. A scramble single will bring up the 50 partnership between these two.
Yes, a very important mini milestone for these two. They would like to continue this for a lot longer and progress this partnership well over 100 to get their side into a meaningful total which is defendable in the afternoon.
This hasn't been a good over from Shankar. There's been a mixed bag of leg side, of short. There might just be the end of his ration for the time being. 20 overs gone, South Africa progressing now at 83 for 3. You just wonder, he looks disappointed with himself, and so he should be, because it's starting to release the pressure. We may start to see spin at both ends. Important partnership. Slow to begin with, but now starting to gain momentum. And it's important that they're in for a good 15, 16 more overs together before they can really start to think of playing with gay abandon. Mulden Pretorius capable, Pangiso no mug with a bat, but it's a longer tail than SAA would like. Aksa Patel, slip now gone.
Yes, Africa, they've gone with a slightly more aggressive option of playing the all-rounders, and I think they'll come in handy later this afternoon with 5 specialist bowlers.
Well, he's conceded a wide, but in a sense he might be somewhat relieved, because that wasn't a great delivery, short and down the leg side. Zondo probably a little disappointed he missed out.
Yes, it was a scoring opportunity, especially with your square leg that's been brought into the circle. He just needed to get some bat on that to guarantee a couple more runs.
Good fielding off his own bowling. Almost anticipated the direction of the Zondo stroke. Nicely angled away for one. They're pushing hard, but that's all they'll get.
Be very interested to see how Akshay Patel and Chahal bowl in tandem. Normally it's not an option you'll go for two bowlers that spin the ball away, but one is a wrist spin and one a finger spinner.
The slip comes in for Bahadin. Oh, nicely turned away. It was pushed through down the leg side. This will be a teasing chase for the man at 45. And he just wins the race. They back though with some good running for a third. Another nice deflection from Farhan Bahadin. Just a period here, Kruger, where India are letting South Africa get away. There was an indifferent over from Shankar, where a boundary was picked up easily. And here, Akshay Patel hasn't been on the top of his game.
Yes, Brett, just a slight change in momentum, and normally the best way with that is extras or easy singles. But it's a sort of tendency South Africa has needed as we come to the conclusion of the 21st over. South Africa 89 for 3.
You know, it's important as a partnership develops from a fielding side's perspective is to still try and retain pressure of runlessness. If not, you're not penetrating and taking wickets. That's obviously the best way to keep a scoring rate down, which is now looking a lot more positive. At this rate, 2-1-2, should get better than that. 6 and over, 263, defendable.
I think it is defendable, yes. I think it's important that South Africa they've got two very good spinning options in Tabray Shamsi and Aaron Pangiso. So I believe 260 is a very defendable total.
So this is an important phase of the match now that you were mentioning might arise. Spin in tandem. We've seen the left arm spin of Akshay Patel, and now we've got the wrist spin of Chahal, Yuzvendra Chahal, into the attack. We've seen him in the IPL being quite penetrative. It's a different game, obviously, the 50-over game, but his career record suggests potential, averaging a nice low 24 as a spinner. It is his favourite stroke, Kaya Zondo. He will cut on width, not necessarily length. He backs himself to hit the ball square. His stance and his way he positions himself deep in the crease is almost saying, you give me anything to cut and I'll have you away. Ease down the ground for one. Field is interesting for the wrist spinner. Slip in place as you'd expect. They're looking for the wicket, and then the 4 in the ring in customary positions. The men out on the onside, there's no one for the sweep.
Easy.
Now, I'm not sure either Farhan Bahadin or Kaya Zondo are big sweepers, and it's always a chance against the wrist spin.
He's very much a leg spinner's field at the start of his bowling spell, in outfield, still protecting the boundary to allow him to get into a rhythm, while still interesting they've taken the slip out actually. Yeah, it's just, I know South Africa is starting to get momentum here, but there seems to be too easy to defend rather than still search for a wicket by Manish Pandey, the Indian captain. Yes, the way the game's almost played these days, the best way of slowing the run rates by getting wickets, and especially during this middle period. It is a big strength of theirs, they're slow bowlers.
It's good over from Chahal. Nice control, good pace for the wrist spin. Not a lot of purchase, but he's conceded just 2. 22 gone, recovering somewhat, 91 for 3. Read minds there, Kruger. What would the discussion be between the two? Pause with that thought. We'll just look at the bowling figures. Siddharth Kaul was very impressive. Good pace, bounce, incredibly accurate, bowled to a 7-2 field for the most part. The new ball certainly helped by early morning conditions. The change bowlers is by no stretch remotely as impressive as the new ball, and now we've got spin. Akshay Patel to Farhan Bahadin.
But I think the important thing is to keep growing this partnership. Keep it at something as simple as that. There's enough time to bat here, and just so much emphasis on their partnership, working together. It's a great opportunity for these two, both senior players, both in leadership positions. And almost the easier you make it, if you work in pairs, you forget about that individual aspect of batting. So grow the partnership, keep it as simple as that.
Man goes back from mid-on to long-on for Zondo. They're going to scamper a single. Zondo's going to have to go or throw into the wrong end. Wasn't a particularly good one anyway. Interesting, when Bahadin's on strike, they've only got 3 boundary patrollers, a man out at deep mid-wicket, long off and cover. It might be an opportunity, not taking it at the moment, happy to still take the one, but just to get the man back and create more ones opportunity, just to chip one over the top there, just once, come down the wicket. Often it is a chosen tactic of an in batsman. That's really good running. It's almost as if the discussion has been, if we lean on anything to the offside, they're sitting, we'll take the run. The backing up is good, the response is good, and a bowler getting frustrated because it shouldn't be one. Tidy from Patel, 14 off his 3 overs, 95 for 3 as we approach the halfway stage.
I think what the captain's also done really well here, he's known what fielders to bring into the circle to entice Bahadin to go for that extra boundary option.
Here's the story of this A-try series. Australia involved in their contractual disputes meant that they had to withdraw from this series, and in came Afghanistan A at late notice, and they were pummeled, as you'd expect, by the bigger cricketing nations of South Africa and India. They lost 4 games. South Africa and India exchanged victories, and you see they were narrow ones. First one, South Africa winning by 2 wickets and a low scorer, 150 was the target, and South Africa A losing to India A in the last encounter between the two, also by 1 wicket. In the air! No ball called, no ball called. Can you believe it? What a gift. Wow. We're just saying Zondo's not really a sweeper, and he goes for a shot that he's not accustomed to or comfortable with, and it loops to the man at 45, and I'm not sure that he heard a call. I think he was just playing the stroke, Kruger.
No, you called it, Brett. It is a very tough shot to play against a spin on a wicket that's slightly slower. But also interesting to see in modern day cricket how the free hit is executed.
High in the air it goes. It's a big slog. Man getting underneath it. It won't matter at all. They'll come back for the second. What a bonus that is for Kaya Zondo and South Africa A. He's been caught 2 balls in a row, and neither of them have counted. And in the midst of it all, 100 has come up. Well, drama. Here's the moment that was so important to Yuzvendra Chahal. The no ball, can we, oh, not the best angle, but Sam Nagajski, the Australian umpire, has had a look at that and deemed it as a no ball. And look where he's fetching it from. Fraught with danger against wrist spin and some bounce.
Come on, lads, yeah, come on, boys! Energy up, let's go, yaar! No issues, yeah!
Goes over cover, there's a man out there. just get a sense, and maybe I'm trying to read too much into a situation, that the skipper, Kai Zondo, as relieved as he is by getting the reprieve, he's just got a bit rattled that he got himself out and he's gone, I shouldn't have done that, and now he's not playing as controlled as he has for the duration of this innings.
Yes, it's important when we speak about those partnerships that it's not just one in numbers, but important for a guy like Farhan Beardine to offer his support, that calmness which comes with a lot of experience as well, just to work together, keep reminding him, look, we're doing a great job here, keep building this partnership.
7 off the over now, so there's no need to take any undue risk at all. That's his area. Good over for South Africa in more ways than one, not just the 8 from it, but the no ball wicket that Yuzvendra Chahal gave away. 24 gone, 103 for 3, and it's slow progress, but it's a recovery, a good one from South Africa A. From 32 for 3 they were at one stage.
If we see it, the 50 splits, first 15, naturally being slightly slower from 87 deliveries. South Africa also losing the majority of their wickets during that period, but they've picked it up nicely to just over a run a ball. We want to see that progressing as the innings goes deeper as well.
Both men in their 30s need to press on to something of more substance. Does use the crease, does Kai Zondo, where he takes his stance. He'll get outside off stump, he'll get deep in the crease. Sometimes he'll show the bowler all 3. Found a line, found a length, found a pace, probably more importantly, Aksa Patel.
Yes, he's slightly quicker through the air than the wrist spinner. You can just something building here. You can almost feel a release coming somewhere.
Oh, it's good fielding, important fielding. Just building the dots here. You've got a captain who's just got a little bit rattled, almost getting himself out in the last over. Now a string of dots. It's almost a bit of a pressure switch. Whistling through the overs. Very good over from Aksa Patel. Good control, good variation, and he's bowled a maiden. Halfway stage, 103 for 3.
I think it's really important. We actually timed Aksa Patel during previous games, and he bowled 1 over in 70 seconds. That as a batsman, you take your time and play at your own pace. It's important not to get rushed. It can rush your decision making.
Oh, umpires and match referees the world over would be delighted to have a bowler bowling an over in 70 seconds, going on at 12 overs to the hour. I mean, what's going on? Here's Yuzvendra Chahal. Just a good passage for India A here. Opportunity created in the last over, sadly from overstepping though, it was negated. And then a maiden. So a bit of pressure building once again on South Africa A.
Yes, and as you see the captain, he brought long on up into the circle once again for Beardine, almost enticing him to hit against the spin, which we saw a chance being created against Kai Zondo earlier on.
Oh my word. Premeditation can sometimes make you look a little foolish. Getting down to reverse sweep and seeing, oh, I should have been in the sweep position, and having to alter to an almost quasi-defensive stroke.
ठीक है कोई नहीं चल मेरे कैपी तगड़ा हो गया जरा
Goes again. This time he's got something on it. Taking a bit of risk now is Kaya Zondo, just to try and release the shackles. They're going to come back for the third. That's good running from Faan Bahadin. But just there's an element of, dare I say, desperation starting to creep into what has been a very controlled inning so far from Kaya Zondo.
Yes, I think there's a real need, especially after this ball, just for the two batsmen to get together, to reassess things. Both have got to start here, and the importance of them kicking on with just strong cricketing options is going to be important.
It's better. 26 overs gone, and this partnership continues to get South Africa A back into the game. 110 for 3. You just get a feeling, Kruger, that for Kaya Zondo just at the moment is not 100% sure as to the method that they want to use against these two spinners. It's almost they've been playing so sensibly, knocking it around, taking ones, and he's just because a few dots have built up, he's gone, oh, I don't know, I've got to try something a little flash.
Yes, you've almost got to work your way back from what is a good score on this pitch. And we see, obviously, the spinners are going to play a huge part here. That, for me, why it's so important for Faan Bahadin, that affirmation that they're doing a very good job here, just to continue.
Turned away for one. Nice, sensible stuff from Bahadin. Nelson on the board. Feet will be up in the dressing room. They're superstitious cricketers. Oh, are they still superstitious? He'll still just be having that little demon on his shoulder. That's 7 dot balls that Aksa Patel has bowled to him in a row now.
Absolutely. You can definitely feel the tension building a little bit here, and just for him to stick to those strong options, which has worked for him. Keep it pretty simple. We've seen the drop and run be really effective to him, and the long off option as well.
Not that they're looking for boundaries, but it has just been a while since they got anything free, and that's pretty much since Spinner's been bowling at each end. Oh my word. There was a degree of inevitability about it. He's just started to lose concentration in the last couple of overs, and that is got to be a very disappointingly soft dismissal for Kaya Zondo. Getting down on one knee, trying to sweep, and just lobbing it straight to the man at 45. Massive disappointment for South Africa A. Delight for Aksa Patel, a gift wicket for the Indians. Well, that's a disappointing demise from a promising innings from Kaya Zondo. He's gone for 39. South Africa A, 112 for 4. Wiaan Mulder, the young 19-year-old prodigy, is the new man. An important innings in this particular tri-series, that 66, when he restored things with Heinrich Claessens on that day, and he's got to play an innings of similar substance. He's out there because of this.
Yes, we spoke earlier about the importance of him looking at the strong options that has worked thus far against the spin. We've seen the slog sweep against a leg spin. It didn't quite come off. He used it where he got dropped and against a free hit, and he goes for the sweep, unfortunately this time to bring Wiaan Mulder to the crease, a very exciting young talent.
Young being the operative word, though, because he's just 19, so inexperienced, talented, yes, but he's in a pressure situation, and Faan Bahadin's going to have to guide him through this. Well, he gets a nice freebie to get off the mark.
I think a guy like Aaron Pengiso can also really pay careful attention as to what pace Akshay Patel is bowling here, what has been effective during this period where he dominated against the partnership between Behardine and Zondo.
It's the end of a successful over from Akshay Patel. South Africa now have to start all over again. The partnership has been ended. It's 114 for 4. Rocked early by the new ball on a pitch that was slightly responsive and in the midst of a very good spell from Siddharth Kaul. They lost 3 early for 32. Zondo and Behardine were restoring the damage before. Zondo just went into a period of flagging concentration, and ultimately it led to his demise despite the fact he'd been given a chance or two in his 30s. Behardine soldiers on, this time with Mulder, and time for a change of voice. Demisa Makalima, John Kent.
Easy.
Behardine accumulating very, very well through this period. His partner just lost his head in the end with dot balls accumulating and some options he tried that they weren't his A game, you would say. The spin, this has been the strong point for India in this tournament. Very experienced, they both played a lot of ODI cricket, T20 cricket, Chahal, Axel Patel. This is where they just try to bring it back. Not that they needed to bring it back at all. Things were pretty tight. They lost early wickets, South Africa A. The backup seam options weren't the best from India A, it must be said, after the 2 opening bowlers. Skidding on, slips in position, positive captaincy.
Yeah, just disappointed to lose Zondo in the manner in which he lost his wicket.
Flatter, just skidding on. Yeah, I agree with you. There was a 45 around the corner for the spinner, and he opened the face up and he tried to hit it in the air, the lap shot in the air, and the shot didn't seem to be on, surely, with a 45 there. Total misunderstanding. Mulder hit it very firmly to the fielder, so it got to him quickly. The single was never on. The Behardine screaming back at him, saying no run.
Change in field. Quickly send back. Smothered, good fielding. Oh, there's a miscommunication. It's going to be a run out. Oh my goodness. That is the last thing South Africa A needed. He hit it straight to the man. It was good fielding, diving to his left, and a slight misfield. And Mulder took off and was sent back halfway in the pitch and found himself stranded to be run out in a dismal miscommunication between the two. This is how it transpires. Smothers at good fielding at short cover. He gets up and Mulder is in no man's land, being sent back by his partner. Yeah, Mulder will go for 1.
When Pretorius arrives at the crease, 28 years old, part of the Champions Trophy squad in England, and he's in, and there's a bit of pressure on right now. Our spin twins are doing a good job. 100, 750s, strike rate of 97.
Very handy batsman down the order. Twin Pretorius.
Successful over for Chahal. 115 for 5. Rocked early, Hendricks, Davids and Clausen knocked over very early with that opening spell from India. Zondo, Behardin, bit of rebuilding, and Zondo went out to a soft dismissal. Behardin's just lost another partner, Milder, with a mix-up. He's gone for 1, so this has been a familiar area in this tournament where, as you say, a clump of wickets have been falling in certain areas of the game.
Yeah, there's been a problem throughout the South African innings that wickets at regular intervals have been falling. No momentum to build handy partnerships. Verdi needs support. Too many clusters of wickets in a short space of time.
Quick single. I'll tell you what, is disconcerting for a batsman when you first come in is when you hit the ball and you call for a 1 and the keeper or a bowler or the fielder shout. It can put you off. This was where Mulder cracked it through the offside and knocked on by the fielder. Good single, Behardin. But the fielder dived. He made a good stop, but the ball didn't go very far away from him. A couple of steps, he got up, picked it up, and threw it back to the keeper. So there was a knock-on, but it wasn't really a knock-on that went too far away from the fielder. So he recovered, and Behardin wasn't really interested from the beginning.
Yeah, I think rightfully so. There was not quite a single there. It was just good fielding. It wasn't a definite single where you could call for a run, and rightfully so, standing his ground and sending his partner back. Just total miscommunication from the duo. But Behardin's still there, sitting on 39.
That's it, Behardin's done a good job. He's not had too many dot balls delivered to him. He's rotated well. Just needs a willing partner here to get through his remaining overs and try and have a bit of a flurry towards the back end. They can't really play with too much freedom. Lost early wickets. Need to just try to take it a bit deeper. End of the 29th. 120 for 5.
They've bowled well, the Indians, and they've enforced silly mistakes from that South African batting lineup. Henry Davids at the top of the order, getting a good start, but not enough. Farhan Behardin sits on 40, facing 57 ball, and desperately needs a partner who's going to support him at the under end. And Dwayne Pretorius is more than handy to do that job. But they need to take this deep into towards the 50th over so that they can get out and actually launch and have a base to play from towards the end.
Oh, jeepers. Airborne for a short period of time. They've got 2 men on that extra cover line. They're quite close together. So there's 3 fielders on the offside. That's where they want him to hit.
Asking questions, Kahal.
Come on, boys.
He's one to turn a bit. He's generally used the ball that skids on straight. Trying to get that LBW, that one a bit slower. Did get a bit of purchase. Good piece of bowling and good anticipation by that mid-wicket fielder. Saw Behardine shaping up to work it, and he moved very well. Axar Patel, good package he is. That one's going to be wided, surely. A lot slower through there, that one.
Trying to give it a little bit of air and slowing it down. Trying to enforce a mistake, but just does not quite get the direction right. Lots of turn. Stays with the ball. Farhan.
See the way this partnership has started there. Fair bit of caution. That's some turn there. First we've really seen today. But look what's to come. There's Pengiso.